let's talk about how to build a business brand. Using a simple story-based brand formula, focusing on case studies, testimonials. Using a storyteller formula, we'll be investing in online live events, rather than holding live events that are held at an actual physical location. We'll be hosting live events online. We're all familiar with webinars, and webinars are great, and they are very effective. But there are tons of them out there. Instead, we're going to be looking at more engaging ways on how to start creating and investing into these live events. Businesses will be creating story assets, and unlike in-person conferences or in-person live events, businesses do not need to run live events indefinitely to maintain the lead generation and the ROI. Because we all know, once the event is over, that is when the exposure ends. Rather, we will create these digital assets and use them over and over again. For example, businesses can create high-quality content that can be leveraged and used over and over again, such as podcasts, webinars, workshops, and summits to increase the ROI. For example, in expert discussion panels, workshops, and seminars have been shown to work. Essentially, you're asking the same question to a group of individuals and gathering multiple perspectives. It's a very engaging format, and oftentimes they run rapid-fire question and answer sessions, which gives the audience immense value, and it is entertaining at the same time. Live events create highly engaging experiences that can accelerate the brand building strategy. But the true benefit, as a marketer, is it provides a ton of marketing collateral that you can use to promote your brand. First, you're going to want to define your branding strategy, and what that simply means is that it's a long-term plan to achieve a series of long-term goals, and it ultimately results in identifying who your customers are. So it's at this point, you're going to want to define your identity, define who you are and what you want to be known for, and define how you are going to approach that strategy. And in this example, we're using a story-based brand method. We're going to be holding live events, which means we're going to have a lot of content that can be used to create effective advertising material. And that's important, because when brand building, having sufficient exposure to the right audience is the #1 objective. It's recommended that businesses start to invest in machine learning solutions in order to overcompensate for volatile market shifts, such as the loss of third-party tracking cookies and downward economic pressures. By using solutions such as Google's Performance Max campaigns, which is a data-driven type of campaign that works very well when done correctly. Branding a business involves putting the marketing message in front of the right person at the right time on multiple platforms. Since Google owns multiple high-intent platforms, such as Google Search and YouTube, advertisers aren't restricted to running lead generation campaigns in silos, as opposed to the way social media networks have been forced to operate. Next, you're going to want to create a customer avatar, otherwise known as a buyer persona, a marketing persona, or a customer profile. This is simply a representation of your ideal customer or client. We are not grouping everyone. Rather, we are defining that one person, and that will help us define who our ideal customers are, so that we can target and find them effectively. Now, it's important that you don't skimp on this step or pass it over. You may think this is low value, but this will become your compass over time. Keep a tight focus on what makes your customer types unique from the other, and finally detail who that person is and what their role is in the sales process. Since building a brand is a journey in itself, you will find that in creating this theoretical customer, you will frequently reference that avatar when having copywriting sessions, onboarding new team members, or campaign realignments. Next, we'll start building our brand story from the perspective of a subject matter expert. And in this step, we're going to start to develop an attractive character and position the business as a valuable asset in the lives of our potential customers. Here, you start positioning your business as the trusted guide or the thought leader in your particular niche. Next, we're going to be targeting our audience. And we do this by choosing a lead generation platform. Now, The platform is simply what allows marketers to target prospects that are currently researching specific topics or product solutions on the web using either display or video advertising campaigns. We're going to be targeting our audience on high-intent platforms. Platforms such as Google Search are used for high-intent audiences, also YouTube, which is excellent for in-market and remarketing audiences. Since in this example, we're using the recordings of live events, we'll have ample video in which to feed our lead generation campaigns. Nowadays, people love short videos that are easy to consume, and most individuals actually want to binge on videos from your brand. Next, we're going to start building our brand lead capture funnels. This is when we actually start to harvest our brand efforts with lead funnels. This is the process through which a potential customer or a client becomes aware of your product, expresses some interest, and then moves through your funnel to become a paying customer or client. Since in this example, we're using live events, we'll use lead capture funnels to register prospects for live events. Since we're making an effort to ensure the brand stands out, it's important to invest in strong brand imaging and making sure that your funnels have a level of aesthetic standards. We can start building brand awareness by consistently publishing. And like many marketing activities, brand awareness usually grows slowly and organically over time. How long it takes heavily depends on how aggressive and how powerful your brand strategy is. So we're aiming for consistency. And what you want to do is aim for higher quality content over quantity. You don't have to publish 3 or 4 times a day, but rather publishing 1 or 2 times per week with high quality content can be just as effective, if not more, and it won't lead you to burnout. Now, depending on your market, you may only need to publish once per week, but in competitive markets, businesses need to increase the frequency of their content. Since in this example, we are using live events, you can schedule a weekly panel discussion at the same time every week. In conclusion, investing in a brand development strategy is one of the best things a business can do for their lead generation campaigns.